everyone, today I'll be doing a solo Grandmaster run Sunless Cell with Titan. For my subclass, I'll be using Striker Titan Fist of Havoc. Here are the mods and fragments I'll be using in this video. For my kinetic, I'll be using a fusion rifle Riptide. Next I'll be using La Monarque. Heavy, I'll be using a rocket. And for the exotic, I'll be using Synthoceps. The Sunless Cell. And yes, I am going for the Arc Titan. And we're gonna deal with unstoppable champions. I was reading the modifiers and they're supposed to be Overload and Unstoppable. I'm not sure if it's a bug. But for this run, mainly there's gonna be a bunch of unstoppable champions. And yes, I did decide to use a rocket, so new artifact mods. I'm using the mod where you can stagger the unstoppable champions with a rocket. I just want to try it out. So it's not the best meta heavy weapon ever, but it did work out pretty great for the final boss fight since I was having a lot of problems with it. So we're going to go speed booster and deal with more unstoppable champions. So there is another one that'll be peeking from far distance. I'm going to be using my rocket, and this rocket I'm using is craftable. So pretty much anyone can craft the void rocket. There is a hypernova, make sure you take him down. Hypernovas are a pain in the bungee. I despise them very much. So there's going to be another unstoppable champion, but before that, let me take down this Arc Knight. I mean, he just shoots solar, he does ballerina twirls. I mean, look at him. He's already showing off his moves. And I'm going to go and jump on this little edge, and I'm just going to go back and wait for the ad spawn. The ad spawn's really slow. I think there were supposed to be overload champions, but then something happened. So I'm just waiting patiently. Hopefully the unstoppable champion will appear. And he did. I mean, look at that. It spawned in front of me. Like a birthday present. Happy birthday for me. Okay, joke aside, my birthday is not today. It's actually in July. And my birthday is very predictable. So Independence Day. Yes, very predictable birthday. But anyway, we are gonna go chase down the thralls, and we're gonna see if they can melee the Titan, which is a bummer for them because they can melee the Titan that well compared for the Titan main, or for the Titan. So anyway, we're gonna go and just do precision shots. For this run, I always get bad luck every time I do my solo first complete, or pretty much when I do my solo flawless run, I just get really bad luck. So usually for this section, I get to deal with an unstoppable champion right ahead, but he's just behaving awkwardly. And then now we got the Eye of Solaris, I mean the Eye of Suffering. I am using the Vendor of Ambition, the white orb, so I can get a buff, not getting issues with the Eye of Suffering. And also get a buff, which I will talk about it later on, where you pick up the orb and you get extra 50% damage buff. But anyway, the wizard was acting weird. I decided to use my super. Like, trust me, this boss wizard rarely behaves like this. But for some reason in this video, I think it fell down. I just didn't want to float up. Even though it's flying, it can fly, this wizard. And it was just behaving so awkward. So usually you take down the wizard and you take down the unstoppable champion. But he was just behaving weird, and this is not the best spot. But because the unstoppable champion wasn't cooperating, usually he does in every attempt, but for this one, he just wasn't behaving as I hope he could be. You know, he embarrassed me, but it's okay. You know, I think he's pissed off because I'm not on my hunter. You know, I think it's upset. But hey, let's be honest. Throughout the episodes, pretty much the Prismatic Hunter is pretty OP. And maybe if I have time, I'll try to go Prismatic Hunter or maybe Void Hunter. I have some ideas for the Void Hunter. I just haven't had time to make a video on it. Still doing testing, even though it's a bit slow. But maybe I'll upload a video for the Hunter debating, or I might switch to Prismatic Warlock. Mainly just objective. You must take down 3 of the wizards so you can open the door and then proceed to the next objective. Already the wizard was giving me a headache. Usually I take down the wizard from this spot and then I'm gonna take down the other wizard. I just want to try out the rockets because I'm using the artifact mods where when you pick up a heavy, you have a high chance, by the way, high chance or a chance to get heavy bricks when picking up special weapons. It's not consistent, but I would say it's okay. You can see that I pick up special and then I get heavy. And the reason why I say I don't think it's special, maybe because I'm using rockets, it just gives me 1+ ammo. I'm not sure if it does the same with the other rockets or the other, I would say, other heavy weapons. I haven't tested out. So for this section, I am going to be using my super. I mean, why not use my super? I mean, I'm going to get my super back. So this area isn't really that bad. I mean, there is snipers, there is the grims or the bats. I am going to be using my super pullback. I was trying to dash melee, but my controller says nah, can't do that. But yeah, there is some Staffo champion. There's no overloads for this run, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna add them, or they forgot to add the overload champion. So I'm not sure. Could be a bug. Who knows? I mean, remember Liminality when there was no obsolation, and then when the GM was up, then they added the obsolation. So that could happen when Sunless Cell or for this GM is available. So during this section, I would say there's going to be 2 taken Blights. You can take them down. You can take them down and then use your super. I didn't really do that for this footage. I just decided to just take my time. The only thing I would say is there's a lot of tank bosses, but the good news is I'm going to do the power of time skip. Since there are certain bosses that their health is just so long and boring, and it'll be best for me to just time skip it. Not on this area, but later on, I'll tell you when. So once you take down the Blights, then there's gonna be these blight walls that can hurt you, and you can actually take them down, or you could take down the Blights and then just push and use your super and then just go to the next area. I mean, there's 2 options, but I didn't do that for this video. I mean, this Nightfall is new to me. I never really played the D1 Nightfall, and yeah, surprise, surprise, and I have a good reason. See, during this time when Destiny 1 was popular and stuff, I actually quit gaming for around 3 to 4 years or 5 years. So I didn't really play Destiny 1. Not really. I was focusing on other stuff that time. And yeah, it is surprising. Then later on, I decided to just get an Xbox, and then later on, I moved to PlayStation. And then later on, I played Destiny 2. I mean, I did play Overwatch, but then Overwatch was just a yikes for me. I just wasn't into PvP anymore that time. Alright, so now we're gonna be dealing with the Grims and the ads that would spawn. I could have pushed, but there are snipers, so basically you have to take down the Blights as fast as you can, and then you can just push your way to deal with the ads using your super. I didn't really do that so much for this run, for this area. I just decided to just take my sweet time to deal with the Grims. And you don't really have to take down the Blight walls, but for this footage, I just wanted to show you that you can. You don't have to, but if they are bothering you or messing up your jumps, then you can take them down. It takes around 3 fusion rifles. I'm trying to remember if I did take down the Blight or just ignored it. And it looks like I probably ignored it. But yeah, you can ignore both of them. You don't have to shoot both to save time. But if you don't really care about that, then you could just take down the Blight walls. If you want to. If not, then just ignore them and then just make your way to the next section. So now we're going to deal with more ads, and I decided to use my super, and we're going to deal with Eyes of Suffering, Eyes of Solaris from Sonic 06, and yes, I am going to make jokes, many positive jokes about this eye. So usually the Eye of Terror, or Suffering Terror Eye, if you get times 20, it's an instant death. So for me, I was in a bad spot. I should have pushed a little bit tiny more. But usually you can stand here at this spot a little bit more further where the first barricade is. This spot wasn't really the best because the boss wasn't behaving. But you can see that the Eye of Suffering, right? Make sure it doesn't go times 20 because it's a instant death, so make sure you avoid looking the eye and then just keep doing DPS. Now for this run, it was not the cleanest. The boss was behaving weird, and I think the reason why is because it's not a Bane. For some reason, the Banes are more aggressive, and if you get the Drain Bane, I apologize. I am so sorry. I am so sorry that you got the Drain Bane. And it really is horrendous. And I have dealt with Drain Banes. I actually was trying to get the footage to show you, but for some reason I got error coded. It error coded my recording on PlayStation 5. I mean, it was so bad that the game put it a Drain Bane supplicator that it didn't want me to show it, but I'm serious, I actually did had a Drain Bane and it was just horrible. Absolutely horrendous. Now for this part, I highly recommend you don't push. I know it sounds crazy. Just take down the supplicator. Take down the mini boss. It's not worth pushing. And the reason why is you delay the ad spawns of dealing with the unstoppable champion and the surrounding of enemies. Not only that, you also delay the spawn of the 2 eyes. And this will make life easier. I know this looks horrible, but trust me, don't push, just take down the supplicator. Just be patient. You gotta play the patient game for this objective, and trust me, you'll thank me later. I know someone's gonna comment and say, Blitz, thank you, because I test this out on my attempts, and this seems very efficient because you don't have to deal with the eyes while fighting with the supplicator. I mean, it's your choice. Do you want to deal with the unstoppable champion while the boss is shooting stasis shards behind the rocks and the Thralls and the Taken Acolytes, the new versions attacking you at the same time with aim assist pain? Or do you want to deal with the Supplicator like this, have the eye disappear, and only deal with 2 eyes from left and right from dealing the wizards? And you can deal with the Unstoppable Champion with ease without the eye bothering you and without the Supplicator bothering you. So there's 2 options for you. So pick, I mean, if I were you, I would pick option A, where I take down the Supplicator. I don't deal with the middle eye. I push for the spawns, clear the ads, and then deal with a Unstoppable Champion with no eye. Because sometimes you get a Drain Bane like this, for example. You get a Shock Bane. Like, what if you get a Drainer Bane or Hypernova Bane? And then the Eye of Suffering, or the Eye of Solaris, is, you know, hurting your Guardian. It's just not worth it. And make sure you do put the Ambition, the White Vendor, so the Eye of Suffering won't do too much damage towards you and you get a buff. Just let everyone know that. So we're gonna be just hanging around behind a rock. Now usually I do this method with the Supplicator, but the problem is if the Supplicator sees you or you bother it, it would shoot the stasis, and the stasis shards can go through the rocks. That was the problem I was dealing for this objective, so I thought maybe I'll just go far away and then just deal with the boss and not push, so I could just hang around the back and then do DPS. So this is the next phase where there's gonna be 2 wizards and you must take down the wizard and they'll be Unstoppable Champion. So there is an Unstoppable Champion. I'm gonna wait for him. He's gonna be a gentleman just like last week. I mean, look at him. He's just jumping. And yeah, no Supplicator. I don't have to worry about him because we took him down already. So this is one of the reasons why I just decided to just focus on the mini boss first and deal with Unstoppable Champion. It just makes life easier for me. I don't know about for anyone, but try it. I think you will like it. And yes, I am using a rocket. I mean, it's pretty good. It's not that bad. I mean, DPS could have been better, but you know what? I really want to try the rockets for this season. And it's alright. It's good. It's not that bad. You know, the rocket I'm using is not the best. I mean, there is a better one that I could do, but I don't have it. So I can't really use it. And I have to use this one instead. I mean, it's alright. It's good. Not bad. But I could have had a better rocket. But now we are doing DPS. I did throw a blinding grenade. I decided to go for blinding grenades because the cooldown is faster than the pulse grenade. And you can blind enemies, and you can stagger Unstoppable Champion. I mean, it's a win-win. So during this objective, now we're gonna have the ogre. I did pull back because, well, I mean, there was just a lot of ads that were pushing, and then the door opened. They just spawned a wave of ads. So there are new enemies-ish where the scions or the bunnies are way more smarter and more aggressive than the other version. So the evil bunnies, or the dire bunnies, or the acolytes. So these scions like to multiply. I forgot to mention that. They like to multiply like bunnies. That's one. They're more aggressive, so be very careful with them. I mean, Monarque's gonna be your best friend. Or any void weapon. Also, arc weapons could be good as well. And probably strand weapons, depending on the artifact mods that you put. So it isn't really so bad, but I was just having so much trouble. Now you're probably wondering what's going on there. See, I was trying to aim the knight, but then the aiming, it just went, it was just so weird. But it's okay, we're gonna fight it off because we took down the knight. And now we're gonna deal with the ogre. And there's gonna be another mini phase of ads that we're gonna be dealing with later on. So right now we're just gonna take advantage of the bulk charge with Monarque, or people like to nickname it. They like to nickname the Lemon, the Lemonarque, the Lemon. I don't know why, but everyone likes saying that for some reason. And there's gonna be more swarm of ads, and I'm gonna take them down. I would just focus on just clearing the ads. I wouldn't really focus too much on the boss. I mean, his health is already tanky, and it's just not worth it. Focusing your super at the boss, because there's just so many ads. I mean, look, they're even jumping down. So they're just jumping down. They're just being very awkward. And it just gets better and better. I mean, if you guys think this boss is tanky and annoying, just wait till the next objective where we have more tanky mini boss. Alright, so we are almost done with the DPS. You know, hopefully we can take down the ogre. And it's gonna be a fun day for the Titans for this week. Alright, so I'm gonna do a mini time skip. Once we took down the boss, now we're gonna go and collect some heavy. Gotta make sure I take advantage of the artifact mod lead from gold, where I can pick up heavy from picking up special ammo. Perfect. Just fantastic. And for rockets, for some reason I only get +1. I don't know about other heavies. Not sure. So just a heads up, if anyone is going to be using rockets, you might just get one when picking up special. So this is the other room where there's going to be a bunch of shriekers, and I'm just going to try my best to take them down. And there is actually some certain enemies, these acolytes, where they use this strand to pull you, like this guy over here. He was trying to use his strand attack. I pulled back. This guy over there. Yeah, be careful with him, because the worst scenario he could do is he could pull you back, and then all the shriekers are gonna go and bungee you, and you'll be sent back to orbit. And I'm not joking, it did happen to me many times when I was rushing the run, you know, a little impatient. But yeah, be very careful dealing with the acolytes. They have the ability of strand, just like the other enemies from Liminality. So I'm gonna just spam rockets. I mean, might as well spam it. You know, we also had the artifact mod where final blows, you get extra ammo. You know, high chance. It's not all the time, by the way, just to let everyone know. But it is pretty fun. You know, it's new to me. I still need to experiment the rockets to see how it is. So during this objective, just pick one door. Do you want the left side door of sorrow? Or do you want the right door of pain? And yes, I am taking down the 2 shriekers. There's going to be 3 more at front. And there is 2 unstoppable champions. I was just trying to debate. Should I go to the door of sorrow? Or the right side, the door of pain? Sorrow or pain? Sorrow or pain? You know what? I think I'm going to pick the door of sorrow. Because you know what? I'm feeling a lot of suffering here. So I am going to take down the shrieker. Then there's going to be 2 more shriekers. Just to let you know. I was pulling back because Unstoppable Champion wasn't behaving. What I should have done here is just focus on DPSing the boss. Alright, back to DPS the boss. And time to do a mini time skip. After spending 1 minute of my life, now I get to deal with 2 more shriekers and 2 more Unstoppable Champions. So I decided to pick the path of sorrow, the left door. For me, I mean, I don't know what nickname you're gonna name the doors, but for me is the door of sorrow. For some reason. So I am going to be taking down the Shriekers. I was trying to see if they can open their eyes, but then they weren't cooperating with me. I was like, okay, I guess I gotta walk a little bit more, but then I saw the Unstoppable Champion. Might as well take him down. I mean, why not? Another thing I forgot to mention is there's gonna be another wave of ads, which caught me off guard a bit for this run because I forgot. I forgot there was gonna be a swarm of ads. You'll see what I mean very soon. And now there should be another Unstoppable Champion. I was trying to make the Unstoppable Champion to push because I don't want to deal with the Knight from the right side. I mean, we already opened the door from the left. See, if I was on Invis build, you know, I would just use Finisher at this Unstoppable Champion and then get the hell out of here. That's basically what I would do if I was in an Invis build on Titan, you know, Prismatic. Or if I was on Hunter, you know, I would definitely do that. You know, I would say, you know what? I don't want to deal with the Shriekers. I don't want to deal with the extra surrounding of ads. I just want to get the Bungie out of here. But can't do that for this run, unfortunately. You know, maybe I could have done better. So I decided to just use my super. You know, there was just a lot of ads trying to make me go back to orbit. Alright, so there is a Shrieker, and the Shrieker can hurt you on your super. That's why I pulled back. I pulled back because I didn't take down the Shriekers yet. You know, I'm a little behind. I keep forgetting about the Shriekers. I was trying to find some sweet spots to do DPS. Later on, I did realize you can push from the left side, the left wall, and you could do DPS at the Shriekers. And I didn't know that, so I was new. I had no idea you can do that method for an efficient way, but now you know. So now I'm going to be dealing with the Shrieker, the last one. Hopefully he'll cooperate. Or I could have just skipped the Shrieker and then just make my way to the other section, but oh well. So you can see that Acolyte loves to drag you. So be aware that you can use Strand attack, Strand ability. I was trying to ignore this Strand Acolyte or this Strand Knight, but later on he did follow me when I was going through the Door of Sorrow. You know, there was a good reason why I named it the Sorrow, right? And I know I took down the Knight, but there was another one that followed me, and that's why I call it the Door of Sorrow. And he glitched. Like, I swear to the Bungie, I didn't see him. He was right behind me. I mean, no one could even... I cannot even believe he was just there. It was just so weird. I mean, look at that. He just appeared out of nowhere. But anyway, we're going to do DPS. There's going to be another Unstoppable Champion. Then we're gonna go to the Bridge of Sorrow, the Bridge of Pain. It just gets better and better. Now thinking about it, I think this path is better than the right path, maybe because, well, I'm not really close to the Unstoppable Champion, but then again, the other door is way closer to the bridge. You know, I could have taken the other path, but it's okay, nobody's perfect. I didn't know that could happen. Alright, time to shoot the mines. And we're gonna go to the Bridge of Pain. We're gonna have a lot of husk. You know, the ones where when you take them down, there's a worm that tries to follow you and tries to one-shot you-ish. I mean, it doesn't do that anymore. It used to, but still for this GM, depending on the power level, the husk worms can hurt you very badly. And I was trying my best to use my rocket, but it just wasn't working out. You know, it's just me having bad luck. I mean, it worked out, you know, here and there, but I could have done better. And highly recommend just use your special and use your heavy because there is a banner. And I forgot that there was a banner. So make sure you use all your heavy. So yeah, during this bridge, you could push for Striker, Titan, rally the banner, and then just get the Bungie out. I mean, that's another thing I could have done for this run, but you know, this is my first GM ever and never played the D1 version. It was interesting. The only thing I was a little off was the final phase of the boss. It caught me off guard because, well, let's just say that he behaved like a psychopathic mini Lightblade version. Kinda. A little bit, not too much. But we'll talk about that very soon. So my rockets were shooting the worms. Unfortunate. You can see that the worm was trying to hurt me, but it didn't work out. So make sure you take down all the surrounding ads and the husk. Or you could use your super, rally the banner, get the bungee out to get your heavy and special. I mean, I could have done that too, to be honest. So there was a lot of stuff I could have done better. But like I said, if you're on an invis build, you could just use finisher and then just get the bungee out of here. You know, rally the flag, done, and then you can save so much time. That's basically what I would do if I was on an invis build. Not like an invis, like prismatic invis slash prismatic. So we're at the boss fight. The dark, everything's so dark. Well, not really dark. I think in the Destiny 1 version, it was way more darker. Way more darker. But for the new version, you could still see the boss quite easily. Especially the yellow eyes. For me, it looks like cat eyes, because, you know, cats have yellow eyes. Not all of them, but that's the only thing I can describe the boss. So the boss sometimes likes to go invisible, and I was trying to do as much DPS as I can, so I could take down the eyes of Solaris. I mean, the eyes of suffering. Make sure you take them down. And thank the bungee I didn't get a drain bane, because I swear sometimes I get drain banes for all of my attempts, and for some reason for this video I didn't get it. Lucky day for me. So I wanted to quickly take down the wizard, and now we're gonna do DPS at the boss. Now the reason why I call them the eyes of Solaris is it's a Sonic 06 joke. I feel like Bungie got inspired by Sonic 06 from the eyes. I know it sounds crazy, but I am not joking or exaggerating. I wish I could share the footage, but they did in the game, had eyes like that. It looks exactly like that. It's creepy. And the eyes actually can, you know, one-shot you. If you touch the eye, it one-shots you. Crazy, right? And the eye has like this gravity where it makes your character walk towards them so it can one-shot you. Scary, right? And then they also have a red version of the eyes of suffering. So anyway, during the half of the phase is when we're gonna have a swarm of ads, and this is when I can just use my rocket. But you can also use a pulse grenade, but I didn't use a pulse grenade for this run. I decided to use blinding grenades. For me, it was just better. Plus, I'm using a rocket. I mean, I could just use that to clear ads. I mean, it's no big deal for me. But there is a hypernova. You can see him. He's chasing me. And then we have these cursed rolls. You can use your fusion rifle and to take down the enemies as well, with your finisher, with your fusion rifle. So this is basically the boss fight, but we're gonna have another phase where he goes psychopathic mode. But like I said, you just do DPS. I mean, he's behaving, he's calm. I mean, he isn't really the big deal. See, the big issue is the final phase. There's a second boss fight. And things are going to be very brutal. And you'll see what I mean very soon. When I was doing this run, I was actually debating to switch to Prismatic Titan. I want to go for Synthoceps with Spirit of Assassin, where I can get Invis on my Titan. I was debating to do that, but I got this run, so I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna upload this one. So during this phase, the boss is gonna be in cocoon mode-ish, but mainly your objective is to take down the wizards. But I noticed that you could leave one wizard and then just deal with the ads. That's one thing you could do. Just remember of the Eyes of Solaris, the Eyes of Suffering, Terror. You know, make sure you don't look at the eye. It's not gonna really hurt you. Especially one eye, it won't be too harsh. Just be very, very careful when dealing with 3 wizards. And then when you do take down the wizards, use your finisher, but be very careful because a wizard's attack can hurt you. You can see right here, I was trying to use my melee. I am using Synthoceps, anyone's wondering. And make sure you clear down the ads as fast as you can, because now we're going to deal with the second phase, and I hate the second phase. The boss turns into a psychopathic, and he becomes a mini Lightblade version, kinda. And he likes to shoot void, and it hurts a lot. Not only that, we have an unstoppable champion that will spawn. And I was trying to use my super to take him down. You can see that I'm trying to take him down. And then we got Husk, the worms chasing you. So try your best to take down the unstoppable champion. It didn't work out for me too much, but the good news is I did took some damage. DPS at the boss. So right now I'm going to use my rocket. I'm going to move, but I'm not going to try. I'm going to try my best to not be too close to the boss, because the boss can shoot his void quite harshly. You can see right here. So later on, I did just pop a barricade. Use your barricade. You have 80% of the resilience. And I just wanted to just use finisher and then go back to my barricade. So once the unstoppable champion is taken down, then I just do DPS. And I was just trying to find a good spot to deal with the boss. Another thing I noticed is that you could use your barricade after it shoots its fire. And another thing you could do is just keep doing DPS even though it shoots the fire, because the barricade will protect you. But like I said, this boss fight is new for me. This phase is very new. There's a lot of movements for this boss fight. And the Void Blast can hurt you. And I guess it also depends on your artifact power as well. Because I am using double Void Resilience and 1 Concussive Dampener for this phase. So I am trying to use cover to do DPS, but you can see that the fire, you know, it doesn't really hurt your barricade too much. You just have to be a little careful and just use the covers to do DPS at the boss. I'm not going to time skip this since this is pretty new, but just be very careful with the boss, because I think the key for this is make sure you don't get too close to the boss so he won't be too aggressive. And right now I did use my super, so my bad for that. It was just a lot of ads here and there, and it caught me by surprise. I didn't know that there was going to be a mini wave of ads around, I would say, 70% of the boss's health. I was trying to find a good spot to use barricade once I get it, and I was just trying to see if I can use cover. And then the boss was acting weird. He was pushing, he was just acting extremely aggressive. Look at this. Saved by my barricade. But yeah, as you can see that the boss's Void Blast is a yikes. He's psychopathic. I just decided to rotate, but then sometimes I don't rotate entirely. I just half rotate and then move the other way. So I was just trying to wait for my barricade so I could find a good spot, because the boss was just acting weird. I just want him to behave and stay away from me so I can do DPS. That's basically what was going on for this run. He was just being way too close to me. I don't want him too close towards me because the Void Blast is going to break my barricade pretty quickly. So that's why I was trying my best to make sure he just hangs around the backside and I don't have to like try to get, so I don't have to deal with the Void Blast. But this boss behaves similar to the Dreaming City mini night boss, like the one where it shoots stasis and Void Blast. Anyway, we're gonna go for the next phase. So during 50% of the health, this is when the Unstoppable Champion will spawn. I was trying to find him. I was waiting for the Unstoppable Champion to appear, but then I had to use my super, unfortunately. No, my super wasn't working out too great, so I actually had to pull back because, well, I don't know, the boss's shield. The champion's shield was just acting really weird, and it was deflecting my DPS super. And because of that issue, now I have to go rotation and then just deal with the boss. So the best thing I can think of is I have to make sure the boss doesn't get too close to me. That's one. And I have to make sure the Unstoppable Champion is nearby. So this spot looked perfect. So I decided to just use my fusion, take him down quickly, and then take down the boss at this spot. Hopefully he behaves. If you notice, the boss is a little too close to me. So I wanted to pull back and then use another barricade because I don't want him too close to me. And he kind of reminds me of the Dreaming City mini boss Arknights. The one at the second elevator phase where it shoots, you know, stasis and it shoots solar. And it's basically the same behavior. And I don't think we have that mini boss knight anymore because they replaced him with stasis. And that's another thing that could have been worse. I mean, what if this boss shoots stasis and solar? I mean, would that be worse or better for this boss fight? And I'm not sure which would be worse, the void solar or the stasis solar. But as you notice, the boss seems to be aggressive when you're a little too close to it. That's why I decided to just move around, try to find a good spot where he's just away from me. And it's really dark, it's really hard to see. Even though it's not the darkest ever compared to D1, still I was having a little trouble. I was trying to use the mini walls for cover to do DPS. And so far he's behaving, you know, he's not being aggressive like he was 30 seconds ago. So I decided to use my rockets. I even forgot about my rockets because I was just too focused at the boss's movement. So we finally took down the boss, and yes, we got platinum. Isn't it great? So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.